Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. There is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. Welcome back, guys. Happy Monday. We are now almost a third of the way through December, and I'll tell you guys what, I was really thinking about it over the weekend and just reminiscing on how quickly this year has gone by. That's probably a theme for a lot of us this year in 2024, but I can still vividly remember conversations that we had on Market Check last December, like a week or two before Christmas. So it's just kind of funny that here we are. We have fast forwarded through the year. And of course, I'm sure you are all asking yourselves the question of whether or not the title of this video is going to ring true. Of course, we are seeing a little bit of red in the market. We are going to discuss all of that and then some here on today's show, guys. I'm Snorlax. You also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Max and Louis. Jackus will be joining us here in just a bit. But until then, guys, I think you know what I'm going to ask you next. A Christmas present that you could get me would be the like button. I would be very appreciative if you could run that up. It would be such a great Christmas gift if we could hit 400 or 500 likes live on stream. Maybe I'm being greedy, Chef Jackus, today, but I would love if you guys could run that up. And like I said, we're going to do our best to provide you with all the alpha that we have, answer the question in the title, of course, as well as discuss where we could see prices head even before Christmas, right? Because I do think that we're kind of seeing a sell-off on a Monday in the same way that we saw last week. I want to say that we sold off Monday and Tuesday and then spent the rest of the week rallying. So if you guys could do that, I would be very, very appreciative. And I know that Chef Jackus will be as well when he gets here. But like I said, we are seeing a little bit of red today, especially on altcoins. I do think that it is a positive personally that we are seeing it occur on a Monday rather than later in the week, right? We've kind of seen this trap set up a few times over the last few weeks where they kind of push prices lower, especially on altcoins. We kind of see these outsized moves down on Monday or Tuesday, followed by a rebound throughout the week. I do think that could be where coin prices are trading right now, at least just given the structure of Bitcoin, right? Because I think as long as Bitcoin is trading above 95, 96K, the need or how much a deeper pullback would be warranted, in my opinion, would be a lot less. But if you break that level, right, I think you open the door for some deeper corrections across the board. And we might discuss that scenario today, although that's not quite my bias at the moment. But like I said, we'll see how the next few weeks play out. I am still expecting a Santa Claus rally, just given the flows that we have discussed before in equities. And I know that will be a topic of discussion throughout today's show. But like I said, guys, leave a like if you have a ticker that you'd like us to look at. That's not completely obscure on chain. Leave it in the comments. We'll do our best to get to it today. And yeah, let's have a great Monday show. I'd love to know what you guys are seeing in the markets, how you guys are taking the red pricing that we are seeing to start this week, and of course, how you view the next few weeks playing out into the end of the year. How are we doing, guys?
Tommy, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Hope you are doing well. Also, good sir. Louis, hope you're doing all right. Louis got a little bit of a cold, but he's a trooper. He's going to hang in there as best as he can today. I am completely unbothered by this price action. I am pretty much zen. I have been preparing for what is to come for years, and I have a very high degree of confidence that we are going to be much, much higher than here. Even within like a week or 2 weeks, or don't even get me started on where I think 2 months goes. But, this is like you said, Tommy, I drew out this chart. We could ignore this, right? We could even ignore the range. Like, here's our trend on ETH. Okay. And there's the weekly open. I drew a horizontal line and I labeled it weekly open. It is not uncommon to see sort of when you get a calendar rollover or an event or an open or a close, to see an impulsive move up or down, which ultimately serves as a trap, right? And a prime example of that, I'm actually going to go back to the November open, right? Let's take a look at the November open. All right, I want to show you guys the November open. This right here is the November monthly open. November open right here. So you can see that you have, upon the open, you have this sort of impulsive move to the downside, right? And then you basically spend the next part of that session being a monthly session after setting a trap early. You have a crazy move to the opposing side. We're probably in to see that on a weekly level over here, where we dumped right off of the open, and anybody shorting or selling or panicking below that open over here, it's probably going to end up like the November monthly open. Like, is it usually the best and most effective strategy historically to, like, when you get a fresh monthly open and you dump off of it, to just start like hammering the ask? No, typically not, right? And it's the same concept as, like, we have FOMC coming up in like a week. If you're, dumping aggressively into FOMC, it's like, what do you think's going to happen? You think you're going to keep dumping after? No, somebody always knows. There's always a trap set. There is no such thing as trading without a trap. Somebody always gets trapped. So when I look at this impulsive move down right off of our weekly open with very little price action at the upside, I mean, we're talking ultra locally here, guys, by the way, right? We'll get started on high time frame stuff later. It's like, I look at this and I'm like, what are you concerned about? Like, did you just enter the market? Like, did you enter the market for the first time like yesterday, like Sunday night? And you didn't buy spot, you cross margin long your entire net worth on like, what are you worried about? Like, why, unless you are that guy and you literally entered the market for the first time in years yesterday and you opened margin longs at the Pico top of the weekly open, you have nothing to worry about. You have nothing to worry about at all. So I'm big chilling. Like, I want it to go up and I want it to go up right now, but am I worried about this? Hell no. Hell no. Like, I'm very, very excited and optimistic about what's about to come. And I mean, even like, look at Pepe today, man. Like, there's something brewing over here. It's gonna be pretty crazy, man. Like, Pepe is just, and by the way, I had this drawn from this morning. Like, if Pepe for some reason comes back into this little slot, that's your generational shove, in my opinion, somewhere in there. Like, let's look at like Pepe dominance, right? I mean, this thing is, Pepe dominance is ready to just fly, you guys, just absolutely fly. And let's just do this. I mean, this thing's about to go to new highs. So again, what is this chart? This is Pepe dominance. It's a percentage. What percentage of crypto does Pepe represent? And it's just beautiful, right? And then you have something like, Pepe others, right? Pepe, boom, tag demand now moving up. It's like all like the big beta, like in my view, like Pepe is going to be kind of an oscillator. I made a video on this too, by the way. It's like 2 or 3 videos old. Pepe is going to act as an oscillator for the remainder of this cycle, just like Doge did last cycle. Like, Pepe is the king, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Okay. Uncontested. No one comes close. And what we saw last cycle was this little dance where, like, altcoins, the basket being others, would rally and then they would cool off and then Doge would pump and then others would bleed against Doge and then back and forth and back and forth. It's like, why are we seeing Pepe like green ignoring the rest of the market today? Like, you will bow before the king meme coin this cycle. I'm telling you, like every knee will bend for Pepe this cycle. Like, Pepe is going to be your king of this cycle. I'm talking just exclusively crypto now. Okay. I'm being intentionally dramatic, right? For entertainment purposes, but you understand what I'm trying to convey. So, I mean, things look great, guys. Like, I'm genuinely not worried. I'm a little eager. I've been waiting a long time for these plays to start hitting, and they really are. They are starting to hit, but I know that the best is just around the corner. And I mean, a perfect embodiment of that is, if we're looking at others' dominance right here, if we're looking at others' dominance, you know, the real fun typically begins for altcoins when you get above the blue dot, you know, the horizontal break of structure right here. We haven't even really gone on a heater yet. You know, that's going to happen. Like the real fun is going to happen when ETH is ripping above like 4,500 and others' dominance is above 13.75%. That's when things get crazy. So I don't know. It's just going to require a little bit more patience, but I mean, things look great in my opinion. I'm going to end my rant there, but things look pretty good overall.
I did see some cool data about Pepe actually regarding Robinhood volume. Basically, the amount of supply, I think it was like 2.5% of the supply has already been bought by, you know, Robinhood exchange users, et cetera. That's basically the equivalent of $50 billion in buy pressure for Bitcoin, up front occurring on Pepe. So retail is accumulating these meme coins at a pretty high rate already. And it will probably at some point lead to some pretty aggressive upside for Pepe. I don't know how it will look this cycle, right? We have no idea if it's going to look quite like Doge, if it's going to look like something more or less extreme. But I mean, we're talking about assets that are in position to outperform. Pepe is really just waiting on that green light from Ethereum. Whenever ETH breaks out, you're probably going to see Pepe leg up aggressively. Given that on a day where everything else is red by about 5 to 10%, Pepe is 2 to 3% in the green and still wants to be in price discovery. So beach ball underwater, frog is on that beach ball maybe. But yeah, I do tend to agree that a lot of these altcoins are probably putting in some early weak dips before reversals. And, you know, maybe we get a deeper pullback. I don't know if I think that's on the table unless Bitcoin loses 95K again.
Your gut tell you that Bitcoin loses 95 or just kind of?
I don't think we're going to lose 95, but I can't rule it out either. I mean, if they want to chop it around 100K, establish fair value here at these prices, that would make sense to me too. But I don't know if I think a lot of these altcoins are really going to be waiting too much on Bitcoin. It's really more, maybe they give a deeper pullback if Bitcoin is going to go below that level.
Right. And guys, this is what I'm talking about right here. So, and I know Tommy just said this, and I don't disagree with him. That's like we don't know ultimately what form or shape Pepe will take on this cycle. I can tell you, I've been watching the Doge Pepe comparisons for a year now. There's definitely some overlap. There's a lot more similarities than there are differences so far. But ultimately, what it ends up looking like, you know, only time will tell, right? But I can tell you, at least from like a market kind of ramping up mania perspective, you can see we got others' dominance up here, and then we'll just label this so people don't forget. There's Doge, and then here's Pepe. You can see historically, when Doge really starts ripping, it's like we're right in here, guys. Like let's take a look at it. So from our green dot, which is like our bottom, to before we ultimately break the blue dot, right? We got some red dots here, okay? We're like right here. All right. We're right here. Okay. So where would that be? You know, for Doge 2017, you know, we'll put some red dots on here. Right there. Could probably argue like right here, which is, I think this is where Pepe's at, honestly. Somewhere around here. You know, and then right now it's like, this is like, we're just getting going, you know, like I just don't see how you could be bearish in the slightest, despite what ETH and Bitcoin are doing. I just don't think it matters. Like you are in a new regime right now. Like the market, how it's moving right now is just so different than what it was the past few months. And a lot of people are not going to be able to pivot. And you have to be okay with things like Pepe ripping and ETH is red on the day. And then ETH is green and Pepe's like, it's just going to be kind of like, it's going to get crazy. But you just need to recognize like It's time to be long. It's time to be long and just sit and wait and bask in it. And you know, I'm here for it, man. I am totally here for it. And this is that part of the cycle where the biggest idiots make the most money. Now, granted, to be fair, they will give most, if not all of it back, and they'll actually go into debt, and then they'll end up owing money to somebody, like probably a high interest loan from their, local credit union or something. I don't know. They'll mess it up, but this is when the biggest idiots win. Okay. So if you can somehow create like a hybrid mindset where you're like, let me think like the normie. Let me be a full-blown ape with zero risk management for like 4 months, but then somehow come back to like set an alarm on your calendar and be like, turn your brain back on in like April. You're going to crush it. You're going to crush it. But things are going to get crazy. They're going to, we've been saying that for a while and you're starting to see it, but watch this chart here, guys. When others' dominance goes on to get above that blue dot and ETH is above 4,500. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, my goodness. So,
well, I remember we pointed out last week, Max, that others' dominance looks like BNB ETH. And I think the context of that makes a lot of sense. Because when we talk about everything other than Bitcoin and ETH, I mean, for one, BNB is the largest market cap, but also what BNB represents. When BNB goes higher, pretty much every other high FDV VC scam does too, largely because BNB has a stake in a lot, or Binance rather has a stake in a lot of these coins, so naturally they do tend to gravitate higher. But also, as I will continue to say, BNB is a very popular collateral coin. So as BNB goes higher, people have more money to long other altcoins with, and that's really how froth enters the market. Through wealth effects on BNB coin specifically. I mean, think about how many people are holding BNB on Binance and how big the Binance market is versus the overall crypto market, especially the altcoin market, because TradFi can control Bitcoin and ETH as much as they want with these ETF flows. But at the end of the day, Binance is still probably going to be your dominant source of volume when it comes to altcoins.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. Like Binance whales are apes, bro. They are apes. I mean, think about the wealth effect. You talk about this all the time, Tommy. Like the wealth effect of, this your L1 of choice, your collateral coin of choice doubles in value. What that does to your mindset, right? Yeah. And by the way, I was talking to, there's a Pepe whale that I know pretty well. He's got millions in Pepe. And he was messaging me last night and he was like, I'm looking to open up like, basically like a $3 or $4 million perps long in addition to what I own in spot. And I was like, I don't think you're not going to get your fill. And he's like, I really want it. And I was like, I don't think you're getting it. Like he was looking for, I think like 240 maybe, or 250, 0000, 250, 240, something like that. And I was just thinking about it. And I'm like, how many people out there are like sitting comfy up, 10x on spot bags from the bear market, at least millions. And they're just praying that they can get more on the table, more exposure, like guys that can really move the market. He's not alone, right? Like that's the shared collective consciousness of a lot of like wealthy crypto participants is I know where we're at cyclically. I'm trying to pedal to the metal, up my risk as much as I possibly can. And what I always say this to you guys, and it's true. And I'm not talking about this person. I'm just talking in general. Greed works both ways. Why should you get filled right now when you had months to accumulate cheap altcoins? Others got destroyed, guys. Like altcoins got taken behind the woodshed and murdered in Q2. You had July, August, and September to shove altcoins, and now you think you deserve a pullback? Why? What you will buy high and you will be happier. Like that's the truth.
Yep.
You don't deserve the pullback that you think that you do. Okay? You don't. You will take a shallow pullback and you will be grateful.
Yeah.
Truly.
Do you know, Max, do you know what happens for the people who want to be able to long more but can't find the collateral to do so?
Tell me, Tommy.
They long their longs. They use their coins as collateral. We've been talking about this for a while, and we're finally, for the first time, I mean, I feel like coin margin open interest globally is finally starting to show some promising signs, which is usually what you see in mania, and it's what we saw in 2021, a sharp increase in coin margin open interest from people longing their longs. That greed, you know, they've already made so many X's from the low, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
It's never enough, man. And that's why things heat up the way that they do, is like people are greedy, and some people are good at being greedy. That's the thing. Like very skilled investors can really capitalize on that greed. Most people can't, right? But that's what fuels us higher, is some guy's up $5 million and he, instead of taking half off the table, what does Alex Wise say? He was like, you're up 2x and you take profit. I'm up 2x and I double my position. Like you and I are different. It's like, that's real. Like that's what's going to happen. Like you're about to see a bubble. You're about to see a huge bubble in altcoins. And it's because of that mindset.
Pepe's pumping.
I mean, that's great news. Yeah, it does look pretty good. I don't know, man. It's just like, I'm not even like surprised. It's just like, of course, you know, like, I mean, here, look at, so we were looking at this chart, but like, why is Pepe pumping when everything else is down? What did Max tell you? What did Max show you? What did Max tweet? What did Max make a 30-minute video about? Was exactly
10-minute max.
It was a 10-minute max. It was 30 minutes. It was, who remembers this chart? Pepe, others. Who remembers this chart? Why is everything else bleeding, but Pepe is pumping today? Well, because it retraced and it came back into demand, and Pepe is going to be an oscillator for this cycle. Similarly, which is what I made my video about, which I know you guys all watched. Look at this. It is the same thing that we saw last cycle with Doge others. Look at, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just going to act as an oscillator all cycle. So here it is, guys. Pepe pumps. Altcoins don't do anything. Altcoins, again, other shit coins, they pump, Pepe bleeds and chops. Then Pepe pumps and altcoins bleed. It was the same thing we saw last cycle with Doge. So again, I ask, who could have foreseen?
Yeah, guys, this is amazing alpha. Like, you're not getting this anywhere else in crypto. Like, no one's talking about this. So you should be smashing the like button right now.
Should be obliterating the like button.
Because
you want to see even more alpha, Louis?
Yeah,
look at this, bro. Look at the Coinbase Pepe chart, bro. I mean, what are we talking about, man? This is the normie chart. This is what the normie sees right here. This is Pepe as far as they know. They haven't ever known Pepe. They didn't know Pepe down here when we knew Pepe. All right. We go way back with Pepe. They only know Pepe as of right here. Right. So we're trying to break out of this range. And guess what? Guess what? This right here, my friend, this is about to be mega demand right here. You're now building insulation after this range breakout right here. You're building mega demand. So what you're going to do is, if you do end up getting a shakeout or a pullback, which we'll see if you get so lucky, now this is your new entry. Now it's up to 273. You wanted this FVG. Why would you get it? You didn't get it. Now your new entry has to be right here, and you're going to have to keep taking and readjusting to these shallow entries. You're not going to get your premier entry. You don't deserve it. You had 8 months to accumulate, and you didn't do it. You will take the shallow pullback and you'll be grateful. And you'll be happy because you're going to make money on it. It's going to go up. But, you know, why would you get a pullback? Can someone tell me why they deserve a pullback? They had 8 months. They had all of Q2 specifically to buy like range low on altcoins down 70 and 80 and 90%. And now they want a pullback. No. No, thank you. No. It's not happening.
I feel like so many altcoins are more or less just replicating Doge's price action from March to right now. You know, where we set a high in March, like you said, Max, we formed an accumulation range, and now they're in varying stages of this uptrend. And I really feel this, like you can see this pattern playing out pretty much throughout the entire ecosystem. With assets that are in different spots. And it's not always as clean as like a direct overlay, right? Like not everything looks the exact same. Pepe obviously is a chart that looks a lot different than Doge. But I think the essence of it, which is that you have these coins that are ready to break up and break higher for potentially cyclical highs, there are a lot of similarities.
Well, Tommy, you tweeted this one, and of course, I'm going to cherry pick it because it's my favorite. But this here is what Tommy is talking about, unless I am mistaken. It would be something like this. Is that right, Tommy?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of coins that look like this too. A lot of VC scams as well. There were honestly, like in my tweet, I had so many charts that I felt like looked like it. I wish I could have posted like 16 pictures on one tweet, but I couldn't. So
you had, what else did you have? So I know you had Andy, just because, of course, no one tweets about Andy without me remembering it.
I had STX. I think I had ladies on there as well. I almost put FTM on there. I mean, really, like there are so many coins that fit this description, and they're not going to play out exactly, but I do think in general, it's kind of communicating to you where a lot of these altcoins are headed. And I think anchoring expectations off the March highs, or rather the spring highs, is probably going to continue to be a winning strategy.
I mean, you're 100% right to identify. Like, you just have so many of these like altcoins and meme coins that are leaving these reaccumulation zones right here. You know, what's another one? Let's add a fourth on there. You said ladies or something?
FTM, ladies. I mean, there are a lot of them.
Just look at FTM. Oh my gosh, what is this? What the heck? All right, we're gonna look at ladies. I don't like that one. Yeah, this is a prime example, right? It's just this idea of like,
is ladies an NFT or a token?
It's a token.
Oh,
it's another Milady grift, but like they'll all probably pump.
It's another one on a long list of grift.
There are a lot of them.
Also, Jim Jenkins, thank you so much, bro. Jim Jenkins, a literal goat within the BB community, man. Thank you, Jim.
Oh my God, Jim. What are you doing over there?
A good man, Jim. But yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right about this pattern here, Tommy. Like, so many are like right. To me, they appear to be kind of like early stage, before things really like right in there, give or take. And what it's going to take is just a little bit of ETH wind at your back. That's it. Which I know is always asking a lot, but I mean, let me see here. What's ETH doing?
I really think ETH looks fine.
It does. I mean, it probably holds here, low key. I mean, you get back above the weekly open, you're going to snap upwards. I mean, just boomerang.
I really think derivatives look pretty great given where we're trading.
Why is that?
Bybit funding for both Bitcoin and Ethereum is basically flat. That's what you want to see. You always want to see Bybit have the lower funding than a place like Binance. And for ETH, I mean, I'd prefer to see OKX funding a little bit lower for ETH, but for Bitcoin, it looks good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just, I don't know if I can even do linear fibs, man. I feel like I just need to do log. So let me see. So this would be, let's see if we can find some confluence here on Pepe. So this is your log 1618, which is just short of your linear 2.618. So that's an interesting level. Somewhere up in here. I don't know. It just doesn't. So, I mean, here's like the real fib confluence that I'm looking for with Pepe. It's on the log mode, which we've already seen play, and we know that it works. It's this. It's from your Binance listing wick to your range low. So you have this, right? We're clearly ripping. You will see the 2.618 in my opinion. And then here from your local range, it's like, look at this fib confluence where it's like you have the 2.618 of your current range at the 2.618 of your like ultra high time frame range. I'm like, this will be a big level right here. I'm just like, do I even care what happens until then? Not really, Why would I as a man care what happened until we get to the log 2.618? I don't know. It looks good. Looks really good.
Yeah, I like the confluence with that. And what market cap would that put Pepe at?
It's about 50 to 60.
50, 60? Yeah.
I do want to say this regarding the market cap, because we did just see XRP effectively add 100 billion in market cap within like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Have we thought about what that could mean for meme coins? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have, bro. I have a little bit. Like, it's possible that we're way earlier in this cycle than a lot of us realize. The truth is most of us will probably sell too early. So I have thought about it, I definitely have, man. And like, even going meme coin to meme coin, Doge added like 20 billion to its market cap in a week when it was pumping recently. I mean, Doge added 20 billion in a week, and Pepe's doing more volume than Doge. Do you really think that Pepe couldn't have a $20 billion weekly candle? I think it probably will at some point.
Yeah.
There's a lot less supply on these meme coins too. I mean, we're literally in price discovery, whereas Doge and XRP put in cyclical highs well above where they were trading when they put in that much volume. So I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to recalibrate my expectations, but also, be reasonable about things too. But volume is volume, and what XRP has done, I do think, kind of shows you a little bit of what the rest of the space can be capable of later on in this cycle.
I mean, like, I think there's a chance that Pepe is like truly right here. Like, we are in this accumulation. I think it's possible you're like right in here, and I didn't even need to put fibs on here. We can just do like a range just to show it. But like, I think you could be, straight up like right here, I mean, truly, like I really do. I think you could be right here, which is just crazy. But, and by the way, like, part of this goes back to like where Bitcoin was at this time. Let's look at where Bitcoin was at. Why did it just do that? Come on now. It's like, where is Bitcoin within the larger cycle, right? Is Bitcoin, as it at its first high time frame pullback? Is it ramping into, price discovery? Like where is Bitcoin? And when I look at last cycle and I say, all right, where was Doge at? This was your previous cycle all-time high right here. I just keep going back to this and just thinking like, you know what? If this was your previous cycle all-time high, and then this was like the true break of it right here, and then I'm over here looking at Pepe and I go, all right, your true Bitcoin all-time high break, like where we're really in price discovery, is like right here. You know, like I don't really want to count the sweeps that we had in March. We're going to just look at it here. We're going to look at it like this and say like this was your previous cycle all-time high. So if we're trying to pin like where Pepe is in relation to Doge last cycle, which by the way, I see some merit in it, then this is where we're likely at right here. And this was your first pullback. This was your first pullback after Bitcoin going into price discovery. So it's like, how much recalibration needs to happen here? You know, are we in like January 2021 right now, just like a month ahead of schedule? You know, I know Tucker's been kind of an advocate of like, we're a month ahead. But when I look at this, I just can't help but think like, yep, this is probably where we're at, you know, somewhere around here. And then even going back and like look at the high time frame fibs, right? And I was talking about that 2.618. We're going to ignore COVID as everybody should, you know, but look at the high time frame fib, right? And if we do that on Pepe, and again, they're not perfect. Pepe was super young and Doge was obviously, you know, much older. But I'm like, I mean, come on now. Look at this. We could genuinely be like right in here, like heading up to the 2.618. I don't know. I don't know. Like I have a tough time trying to pinpoint where we're at. I just know that like we're either like there's one of two places we are. We're either right here or we're right here. And all I know is we're going higher. That's all that I know.
Man, oh man. Isn't it crazy to think about? But I mean, this is realistically like, I mean, you see gains accelerate at the very end of the cycle. And I think being native can almost be a hindrance because, you know, you're here for 2 or 3 years and a lot of people only know what they've seen, right? A lot of people weren't here for the speculative mania of 2021, but yeah, I think it could be a hindrance for people who have been here before as well, because we can kind of forget what exactly that looks like and how crazy things can get because we haven't seen it in so long. There's a natural part of cyclicality there as well. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it in so long, like just the crazy upside candles, especially on meme coins. And then, you know, I remember, I feel like you're given a reason to kind of remember with something like XRP, which shout out Jackus, but yeah, I mean, the sheer amount of market capitalization we added to XRP in such a short period of time reminds you of how easy things can be bought if people really want to, and if that like hype around the coin really starts to build. Maybe Elon's going to tweet about Pepe. That would be kind of cool.
I mean, I would
trying to think of like what would a headline for Pepe be at this point that would just like cause a big fat candle? Would it be it'd have to be somebody very, very mainstream, kind of like championing it. I don't know if it would have to be in the same way.
Let me put this in your thought though, Tommy. So right around here in this Doge range, Doge was like at $1 billion or 2 billion. Okay. Pepe is at what, 11 or 12 billion, and it has had no like true mainstream exposure. I don't think that it necessarily needs a champion. I think that what Elon did last cycle, he allowed a meme coin to go to heights that we didn't really think were possible, which was 70 or 80 billion, wherever Doge topped last cycle. I think that path is paved because of what he did with Doge last cycle, where now it's just like, if the exchanges and market makers want it to happen, Pepe is the most digestible meme on the planet. You know?
Yeah.
It's like the path is already paved. It's not like we're in uncharted waters. Like we know what's possible for a meme coin. The big question is, could we go to like 150 billion? And for that to happen, you probably need like an Elon tweet. You know what I mean? You'd need that final 10x to come in a lot quicker. But it's like, you can't look at this and say, in my opinion, that we need a big celebrity endorsement or like something like that, because Pepe is already so much further ahead of where Doge was last cycle. That's just my view on it, right?
I think like the biggest reason that Pepe is going to continue to outperform, I think, so many meme coins is that you look at like, why did Doge pump the way that it did? Is because it was a very Lindy meme. It was very established. Everybody knew about it, like you said, Max. So you don't have to explain to anybody like, what meme is this? You know, you say Doge and it's instantly recognizable in the same way that Pepe is, and that some of these other new meme coins that have kind of been forced down our throats here over the last year or so have not. And we've obviously talked about those as well, but I don't know if Pepe needs a champion. I kind of do think it will get one at some point. I don't know who it's going to be. I just think that's probably part of the cycle as well. Is that, I mean, maybe it is Elon, maybe it's like Donald Trump or something, but we're going to have a moment where we're just saying like, holy crap, this guy just talked about Pepe, and this is real life, and crypto is clearly very mainstream now. And in the same way that when Doge started pumping, you had people who had no familiarity with crypto at all, really, outside of what they had, maybe read in headlines. Suddenly there's a lot more FOMO to be in the market, even if that's just not Pepe, but you're going to have a lot more price indiscriminate buyers start to enter the market when that happens. And it will be a signal, I would assume, for a lot of these other meme coins to start pumping too.
You're probably right, man. I mean, there's going to be that wow moment with Pepe. It's impossible to know what it is, but it will be something, man. It'll be just, I don't know, maybe it'll be some like big billionaire business like buys Pepe or something, just something insane, something absolutely ridiculous. But you're probably right. There will be that like, what the heck is going on moment. And that's probably when you get out low-key.
Pepe reserve.
Yeah. Low-key because Bitcoin has a Pepe treasury reserve. But
yeah.
We actually do that. We adopted the Michael Saylor strategy, but with Boys Club. I'm not even kidding. Like our company crypto treasury is all in Boys Club. So
it's worked out pretty well.
It's worked out incredibly well. But yeah, look at this chart too, guys. So this is, I'll label this just so it's super clear. But like, here's Pepe. And here's Doge from last cycle. And we were talking about the significance of, ETH BTC and, what typically like really sends this market to new heights. And it's when ETH BTC puts in that cyclical pivot low and starts rallying. I mean, look at what happened to Doge last cycle. Look at what happened to Doge last cycle. This was right when, ETH BTC put in that cyclical pivot low and then rallied. And it's arguably pretty similar to what we're seeing right now with Pepe, So like if we can get some extended, outperformance of ETH BTC, that's when things really go crazy. And Doge isn't even like truly at its core ETH beta. Like Doge is its own thing, right? Pepe truly is like ETH beta. Like Pepe is on ETH. So you could really feel some crazy tailwinds. But I will say this, ETH BTC has been down only for 3 years plus. Okay. Pepe is already at 11+ billion in market cap, with its L1 literally being the laggard of the entire crypto asset class. I don't think many people are ready for the ETH BTC tailwinds. I don't think that they're prepared for that. I don't think, because you've only ever traded Boys Club and Pepe and all your memes while ETH BTC has been down only. You've never benefited from an ETH tailwind. It's crazy, guys. I remember it last cycle, like how crazy things get when ETH really starts pumping against Bitcoin. And you haven't had that yet. So I don't know. I mean, look at this chart, guys. I'm trying to make it as clear as I possibly can. But this is ETH BTC rallying is literally like gasoline on a fire. It's when things get out of control very, very quickly.
I have the last thing I'll say about Pepe is what I think I mean, maybe it's priced. I don't think it's priced in yet, but like when we talk about tailwinds, Pepe will benefit from ETH pumping, and it will benefit a lot. It's like you said, Max, Pepe has only existed in a down-only regime for ETH Bitcoin. So what happens when that turns around? But I think as well, I think it's inevitable during this cycle we're going to get some Doge ETF filings. And what's going to happen is the Doge will pump, but people are also going to be like, oh, well, what's the next? If we're going to list meme coin ETFs now, what meme coin has the best chance of being listed as an ETF, if not Pepe? So I do think you have the potential to benefit from ETH tailwinds as well as just Doge in general and meme coins. So yeah, I mean, I think there's possibilities for both of those things to serve as tailwinds for Pepe. It's kind of a unique asset in that way.
If Doge gets ETF, if we get a Doge ETF, man, if I speak, I'm in trouble. But if that happens, you are going to see Pepe probably go to like 200 billion if Doge gets an ETF, because Pepe doesn't need an ETF, man. It just needs people to speculate that it's next. That's it.
That's more bullish, if anything.
That's even more bullish, you know? Yeah.
Can't rule
I don't know. It's gonna get wild, guys.
Yeah, you really
I'm
can't
so
rule that
excited.
out. You really can't rule that out with everything that's been going on with Elon and the government and Trump. It's just pretty crazy what's gone on over the last month or so. It's really.
I think I'd be more surprised if we didn't get a Doge ETF filing this cycle than if we did at this point.
I would agree with that.
Or if they just make a basket, you know.
You know who's going to champion the ETF for meme coins, Tommy? Say her name.
Oh, God.
Say her name.
Cathie Wood.
Yeah.
Cathie Wood's going to have to make it all back on leverage. The only way is to all in meme coins and be our exit liquidity.
So she's going to put together a meme coin ETF when Doge is at like $2.50 and Pepe's at like 100 billion. And it's just going to literally be down only as soon as it launches.
Does Cathie Wood get liquidated this cycle? That might be the better question.
She's like the Justin Sun of TradFi. She can't be killed.
Wait, hold on. Before we continue. It's obligatory.
Before we continue, there he is, His Excellency. That man has so much money, bro. It's crazy. Like, he has so much money. It's unbelievable.
If Justin Sun ever does get liquidated, DeFi's cooked. I will say that. I mean, he is
100%.
He is DeFi.
Unironically, he is like the crypto version of like too big to fail. Like, we need to protect him. Honestly.
He's literally he owns a country at this point. I mean, he literally bought himself a country so that he could protect himself with diplomatic immunity. It's pretty based.
How much does the Earth cost?
Yeah, he's gonna try to buy. He's just gonna keep buying countries, bro. That'd be so cool to buy a country or be able to buy a country. It's insane, man.
Or just an island. BB
I
Island.
feel like it'd be kind of lonely to own an island. I'd be concerned about like tsunamis and stuff taking out my island, but
yeah,
I guess
sure
if I'm
can
that
find
rich,
one in
it's not
a
going to be
pretty
that
quiet
big.
area, right? You could do your research, you know. The tough part, I feel like, would be
I'm also, fun fact about me, I'm kind of afraid of the ocean now. As I've gotten older, I get so uncomfortable not knowing what's beneath my feet. If I'm in a body of water that big.
Yeah, the ocean's freaky if you really think about it. I try not to think about it. But yeah, it's freaky, man. I was paddleboarding in Florida and I saw a shark, by the way. And yeah, you just don't. And I know all the numbers, like, oh, sharks don't want to eat you, and like, you know, like I've heard all that from the shark sympathizers, but when you're staring at a shark, and it wasn't like a great white or something, it was like a 5 or 6 foot whatever, okay? But still, when you look down and you see a shark flying through the water, they don't swim like, passively, like they rip. And you look down and there's a shark, it's horrifying, right? It is genuinely horrifying. So it's freaky, man. There are some monsters in the oceans. There are monsters. And there might be aliens. Apparently there's UFOs going in and out of the water. So I don't know.
I don't want to catch a shark on a bad day. Look, I mean, I don't want to be a statistic.
No, I don't want to be a statistic.
I literally trade shit coins with a like sometimes they have a probability of like this big of hitting. I've seen these things happen. I'm not chancing a shark attack.
No. I don't know. I'm fine going in the ocean if it's like I'll go on like a beach where it's it's like 3 or 4 feet and just like hang out. That's fine. You won't catch me like swimming down the shoreline when it's like 30 feet below me. I've seen people doing that. I'm good. No, I won't do that. No. Like, bro, even if I saw like a 3 or 4 foot fish, I'd probably freak out. I don't want to see that beneath me. No.
If you ever see like a barracuda underwater, they're pretty freaky.
Dude,
they're not going to attack you, but like they're scary looking.
Those things are big, aren't they?
They're pretty big, but they don't really attack. I don't think they attack humans.
Barracuda.
But I grew up with lakes, man. I grew up with lakes. Like, I don't.
Same.
Yeah, I could do lakes.
The big fish in where I grew up was like a largemouth bass. It was, it's like this.
Or the Loch Ness monster.
I'm used to the biggest fear of swimming in a body of water being like, just pray to God you don't see a water snake or it's over.
Dude, I feel like I'm getting like anxious talking about all these animals. I'm really not. Like, snakes and lizards freak me out, man. I don't.
River monsters, BB edition.
Yeah.
But frogs are cool though, right?
Nah, I'm good. Guys, I know we got derailed a little bit, but we need to run the likes up. We got 750 watching on YouTube with 427 likes. That's pretty good, but I feel like we could get to 500 likes on YouTube. And we got another couple thousand watching on X. So hit the like button, and also if you're on X, hit the retweet button, guys. That'd be super helpful if you could do that. Tommy is a Barracuda sympathizer. Wow, Tommy. Wow.
I probably traded that coin once. Who knows?
Barracuda sympathizer.
Yeah,
or like
green on the day.
Probably not much meme ability there, but
guys, no contracts in the chat, please.
Max only seen tilapias.
What the heck, man? Not the same as a shark, but I was in therapy for a while after. Oh my goodness.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
I don't know if you're serious or not.
Well, we have members.
Oh yeah, we do have a membership thing.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lee.
I feel like we just turned them on a while ago. Thank you, Lee.
I'd love to look at some of these other, what are some other assets that are pretty strong today? Looking at my watch list, I see a few.
Gold and silver are having a nice bounce today.
Gold and silver.
Wow.
I want shit coins, Louis. I'm kidding.
GME, the stock, is green on the day.
Louis, get your charts up, man. I've been cooking the whole time.
I know. Well, Jackus has
a Louis meat stick
there.
What?
Where's Jackus?
Jackus is here. I didn't want to interrupt the flow, but I was laughing in the background with the mic muted. Especially when you like talked about the sharks lately, I was like, bro. I literally had the same experience. I was in Egypt and I was swimming there. And then I came home, and 1 week later, at literally the same place, a shark ate a human.
Oh, was that
I was like,
guy?
what? Yeah.
Yeah, that Russian guy just got murked by a shark, like literally just eaten, and his girlfriend just watched from the shore.
Oh, that video. I've seen that.
That was fucked.
Yeah,
There's a video.
Yeah,
yeah. There's a video. It's pretty terrifying.
it's pretty.
I don't want to see it. No one send me that video. That's
And I also heard it like that when you actually swim in the sea, you basically have sharks all around you all the time. It's pretty scary thought. But they don't attack mostly, but it's still scary as fuck for like non-sea person, I suppose.
Yeah,
I have a mission for the chat. Chat, can you send us the best locations on Earth that do not have sharks swimming in their waters? I will be not fresh bodies of water, seawater. I know like one or two, but I just need to know. But carry on, Louis.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just looking at equities here, S&P, like it's the weekly open, right? So what are the chances we set the weekly open early on a Monday and then continue higher? I think we saw that last week as well, right? But backfilling a gap on the S&P, I think, as well as the Nasdaq, both just backfilling gaps here, starting to see a buyback. Nasdaq hasn't even filled it yet, but yeah, I mean, I would like to see equities continue strong here. We talked about a Santa rally. That would be great. And a lot of things and I was thinking about it the other day, because I was talking to my wife about like taxes, right? Like I was like, well, she's like, oh, what's our tax? I'd be like, well, I sold some stuff in the middle of the year, but like, I'm probably going to try to push those sells until the end of until the next year, right? Because then if anyone sells assets that they're up on any time in the month of December, they're going to have to owe on that like in a couple months, right? So most people would probably try to push selling off any assets till next year, right? So that's probably a good, it's probably what helps the Santa Claus rally, right? So we'll see if that plays out. But I was like, just doing that personally, I was like, oh yeah, well maybe that's why we get the Santa Claus rally, right? Like there's tax implications and all that.
also, Louis, something you want to consider, brother, is if you have a bunch of gains, you could split that up between this year and next year, and it basically lower, the bracket that you would qualify for.
I got
So
you.
it's sometimes it's actually good to incur that liability. Like if you know that next year you're about to sell and make a ton, like literally sell some in December and then sell some next year. Split it up.
Right.
So
yeah,
and also file an extension study.
Yeah. But I mean, equities all in all, just doing the same as usual, which is great. Having a good equity market behind us for the crypto market is great for our coins. GME, something we've talked about in the Discord a lot, the stock. This looks nice, right? Like we're coming into that part of the year and the cycle where, the meme cycle played. When did it start to rally? That's 2024. Let's go back. Yeah, December, January of 2021. So we're right in that kind of cyclical timing of the last time we saw the meme stonks go crazy, right? And here we are again, December of 2024 of an election year or a halving year. And you look at GME right here. Like this looks like it's gearing up for a big move. Obviously, it had a massive move here earlier in the year, kind of retraced a lot of it, and now the market kind of took that in and decided that it wants to continue higher here after putting a nice little rounding bottom. So, we're playing this via some crypto, some memes, right? Some of us are playing derivatives. I think Tommy's playing options on GME. I'm on GME and Sol. I think Jackus is in GME on ETH, but a little meme coin play off of stocks, right? So that's something to watch. But I think we could see a lot of these low cap meme stocks or meme type stocks that we saw pump last cycle, pump again, and that'll be great for crypto, right? Like I remember when everything was going on in 2021, you had like the GME craze, the AMC stuff, and like while all that was going on, like my crypto bags were pumping in 2021. I remember very clearly that all kind of happening around the same time. So the fact that we see GME curling up here is a great sign. And that's exactly why we're seeing something
Louis,
like
I
Pepe.
can't remember if it was you or Tommy, but one of you said last week, you're like, GME is the same buyer pool as Doge. So it's
I
like
said
if you're
that.
looking at Doge and you're like, oh, this is gonna pump, the same person is gonna buy, the same Doge holder is gonna add GME and run it back.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
like the
and
Robin Hood basket of assets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're just going to rotate. They're just going to take profits on whatever's pumping and then just rotate into the next. And this can go on for the next 3 to 6 months, and that would line up with the end of a cycle, right?
They're
It's
the
all very
normie ticker of choice. That's what it is. It's the normie ticker of choice.
yeah. I mean, Pepe curling, pushing higher, fresh all-time highs over the weekend. Just all kind of lining up to what we've been following here with the data that we have. I mean, everything looks good. I mean, slight pullback on Bitcoin, but that's to be expected, right?
Louis, what do you make of the Pepe strength? I know I already talked about it, but the Pepe strength coupled with the ETH weakness today, do you think that Pepe is just kind of leading, and when ETH finally pumps out of this later this week, you're going to see Pepe fly, or is it like Pepe's got some downside to make up for?
I mean, I was saying this with Pepe last week or the last 2 weeks. Like this looked, the Coinbase listing was a bullish event, right? But it kind of got subdued here. And basically, this looked like a massive reaccumulation, right? Because when you get the Coinbase listing, the big guys kind of got to get their seat, right? So obviously, some reaccumulation going on here. And I was saying we were down here, like Pepe seemed as if it was like a beach ball underwater. Like anytime we got a little pump, it was sold off. A lot of choppiness in here. But tracking it the way I did, I was expecting continuation. And right now, I think this is just finally I think Pepe is going to lead, similar to how Doge led like a month ago, right? Doge was like just out of nowhere, just pumped off the lows. Then ETH started to go. So I think we see something similar with Pepe. And then I think Pepe, will continue to just try to bull chop higher. It's very clear, especially we're seeing it this morning where everything started to sell off this morning. And yet Pepe is still bucking against the trend and trying to push higher. So there's clearly is demand. Sorry about that. There clearly is demand for Pepe at the moment, and I think the Coinbase listing will come to fruition. And I think once ETH starts to pump, then Pepe will really fly and kind of take the training wheels off and go. But I think it's time for Pepe. We've been waiting for this move for a long time. And I think Pepe will start to lead the meme coin market moving forward for sure. And I think it is waiting on ETH, but at the same time, it's not. It's starting to push ahead and say, no, like we're going to go. And then once ETH comes and it starts to go itself, then, it'll push even harder. But I think it's time for Pepe, and the market will probably follow here soon after this little pullback we're experiencing.
I mean, I really think me personally, I think that if we can get a nice ripper during the second half of this week for ETH, maybe 41, 4,200, something like that, I think you're probably going to see Pepe above 15 billion personally.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. We just have one more level to get through on ETH, right? And I mean,
that's the final Cheeto in the door, Louis. Can you change it to orange instead of red? Because it's a Cheeto.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheeto, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the Cheeto.
And I mean, look, like we came basically from range lows down here to range highs in a straight line pretty much, right? So us rejecting here, getting a slight pullback is nothing to be worried about. What I'd look for is to for ETH to maybe settle in, kind of maybe reconsolidate, gather up some strength, and then we go. But this Cheeto in the door, this orange box here, is pretty much the last boss before the all-time high of 2021. And this isn't really much market structure. Like at least here you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and you got all the supply in here. This is a big level. Once you kind of crack this 4K level, ETH's gonna fly. And it's just gonna, this is the last boss after that, but that's like nothing. So we really are coming into the key area where ETH is getting ready to make a big move here soon. You just got to be patient and let it work through this supply. But once it happens, it's gonna go for sure.
Yeah, well said, Louis. I don't know. It's just and Jackus has done some analysis on this as well, and you guys both you basically have the same levels, but you have your range low mark there in white, and then you have your range high being the Cheeto. We are in a 3.5 year accumulation range, is what this is. It's not that was the last cycle's high and then this cycle's bear market. This is a giant mega range right here. And when you break out of a 3.5, 4 year range, you're not going to just like pop up real quick. You know, it's going to be like a very explosive 3x kind of move over like a year, I think.
Yeah. I think all these, between 11, 15K is definitely doable. And these are linear fibs, right? But yeah, it's crazy. Like looking back at this, like this was a massive run for ETH last cycle. But then looking back over the last 3 years, it's like Max said, this is just a massive reaccumulation range. Like this could be just a range, and the real ETH cycle is now, right? Like it's pretty crazy when you look at it, but this is how it's kind of playing out. Like we're using levels from back in 2021 where that was a full-on bull run crypto cycle where people made millions of dollars, right? It's crazy how now we're using these highs and these levels from the last cycle basically as our accumulation range to where we're going to blast off from. So it is very powerful. This is a massive base. And the saying is the bigger the base, the higher in the space. So, it's pretty crazy how this is played out. But yeah, the fireworks begin once you start trading up in these levels, and it'll happen quick.
I love how we have the confluence right now of ETH pressing 4K and the Russell pressing all-time highs and GME stock accumulating and ready to explode with Roaring Kitty back on the menu.
Yeah. And I'm sure he's watching that too. He knows what he's doing.
This is the most favorable condition, or these are the most favorable conditions for small caps to run in equities because you have volatility on a multi-week, multi-month basis getting nuked through the floor right now. And that will remain the case until the end of the year. The volatility skew picks up a lot in 2025, but until 2025, you're going to have volatility probably continue to come down. You're going to have the S&P probably just grinding up rather than like ripping. So instead of the Mag 7 stocks ripping, you're seeing small caps ripping. IWM obviously looks great. And this creates a very favorable context for crypto as well. I think it's a beautiful confluence for a Santa rally, quite frankly. And I want to point to one more equity that I think looks a little bit like ETH, at least, not quite the same, but PayPal, I think is a pretty good signal here for ETH. I think PayPal is probably going to be breaking out pretty soon, given the confluence that we've seen among small caps. And I just feel like this move it's had off the low, although it's not anywhere near where ETH is trading structurally, I am reminded of, and I think there are a few small cap charts that probably look like this as well. I think Jack has pointed out Rivian is one of them this morning. But yeah, I mean, I think there's just so much confluence for these moves to be occurring very soon, probably this month.
Yeah. Yeah. And the cycle timing, like what we saw last, like 4 years ago, was completely lined up with that as well. PayPal was something I'm pissed. I wanted to play this literally when it was trading around $60. I just didn't have any money on like my equity, dashboard. I just was all in crypto, so I didn't get to. But yeah, I think PayPal comes at least, to fill some of this gap here at 150.
You can still buy NEO at those valuations right now.
NEO?
Yeah.
We like the China stocks. Oh, wow, they're crushing it today. Let's go.
No, with I in the middle.
Oh, NEO. Yeah, I've heard of this one. Oh, I got some lines here. Let's see what it look like. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this looks nice. Yeah, this pull like a 2021 altcoin that ran in 2017. You know what I mean? Like kind of do like this. Just never go back to here, but still have a nice run off the lows. I could see that. Definitely see something like that happening.
Yeah, except this is a real company, and the stock is likely to visit all-time highs at some point in the future as China grows more world.
Yeah,
world
if the company
economic share.
actually survives. Yeah, like, I don't know anything about this company, but yeah, definitely got to keep an eye.
The Chinese Tesla, Louis.
Did you see
Is
the
that what
Hang
it-
Seng past few days?
I haven't looked at the Hang Seng.
Look at the Hang Seng.
So
Look
look
at that.
bullish, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I love the Baba chart. Let me look at
Everyone's saying I'm like zoned out and I'm lit. Nah, man, I'm just buried in this Pepe chart, man. I am just cooking on the Pepe fibs right now. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with it because I'm really at a crossroads where I'm like, my initial target for Pepe was 50 billion back when we were buying it. By the way, there's a video on this YouTube channel that has under 500 views. It was the first video I ever did of Pepe. Buying it at like 350, 400 million in the bear market. And my initial target was 50 billion. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, maybe I was wrong on that. Maybe it's over 100, you know, and I actually think it's possible to see Pepe well over 100. And I'm just, you know, it's tough trying to like piece it together. You know, it is tough.
Rivian looks good too here. So I'm saying it's time for like the low cap stocks, the speculative stocks, crypto, altcoins. It's the next couple months.
Dude, it's gonna be all through Q1, Louis. Like it's gonna be the same as every cycle, man. It's gonna be like IWM and crypto just melt upward January through like April, and then you get like a mid-year correction. You know, sell in May, go away, buy the summer lows, run it back into October. It's the same thing every time, man. It's the same thing every time. So I don't know. I mean, it's just cool seeing it all come together finally after all these months of talking about it.
Yeah.
But Max, the macro guys are saying that 2025 recession is coming in June.
I heard what you said about them this morning on the call, Jackus, and I agree with you. But I don't know if I can say it on YouTube. There was some profanity mentioned.
Only if you say it in Indian voice.
No. They are, let's put it this way. I'll say the nicer part of what you said this morning. They are really good at regurgitating what they learned in school. But they lack ability to position around their formal education and their understanding of the mechanics, right? They can explain to you what it is, but they don't know how to trade around it. And then Jack has said a few other things, but we'll leave it at that.
Such a sophisticated way to put it. I always love it.
Just a politician.
Indeed.
Bottoms in, Louis. Never below 97.9 again. You're on mute, Louis. You're talking into the abyss. You're talking into the Mariana Trench where there's sharks and horrifying fish.
My brain is slow today, but
yeah,
fine with me.
Potato brain today.
Literally, yeah. We're just bull chopping, Like, look at this. Like,
so Jackus,
yeah,
we have 512 likes. I'm not going to request that you put on a full 5-course meal, but for 512 likes, share a little bit of alpha with us. That's a good day. We had a good day today.
Yeah, that's true. But they are still in debt from the past week and weeks. So they still, like I said last week, right? They gotta repeat it for like 4 days straight, and then maybe I'll consider. Greedy Jackus with his likes. It is what
Greedy
it is.
Jackus.
But not today, guys. Appreciate the first start of the appreciation. The first wave. Hopefully not the last.
I feel like the funniest outcome is to just reverse the stuff that we've had this morning.
Yeah. You rip it higher.
Turn around Tuesday. Who says no?
Tuesday is the mean reversion day.
All right. I have a new market cap prediction for Pepe.
Uh-oh.
Can we at least get the Indian
100
accent?
112 billion.
I like that number.
What do you like about it? Tell me everything.
The 12. I think 12 is a big number. 12 is like one of my favorite numbers.
Why?
I don't know. Nikola Tesla, 3, 6, 9, and 12. I don't know. It's good. It's a good number.
Okay. There you have it. 112 billion. Yes, I will continue to move the bull. I will continue to move the goalpost as I get euphoric. Deal with it.
What do you guys think is the top of crypto total market capitalization for this cycle? Do you think that
Yeah,
double digits
top's
are
already
truly
in.
possible?
Yeah, no, the top is in, Jackus. I follow a guy. He told
Okay.
me the top was in. Yeah.
But he said it 2 years ago.
He said it last week and the week before, and he said it when we were on the August 5th drop. He said it then too, but he's right this time.
I think 9 or 10. 9 to 12. Something like that.
Yeah, I feel like we overshoot 10 a little bit.
Yeah.
And probably comfortably clear it at some point in the next decade. But maybe we get a fake out above 10 trillion first time just because it's such a significant psychological number. But yeah, I mean, probably a good bit
Tommy, but by any chance, do you know how the volume is calculated on the total index chart?
The volume?
Yeah, the volume, because like my trading view is showing me that we've hit the largest ever volume on the total index chart, and I do not know if that's real or not.
I see it. I'm looking at it right now. On the 3-day, I think we're
On a
the
monthly.
highest buy
Put
volume.
on-
Yeah.
Put on monthly.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
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 That's what you want to see during a breakout. Backed
But
by
is
volume.
Mm-hmm.
it real, or is it is it just calculated somehow?
No, it's definitely real. I don't know how it's
It's got to
calculated.
be cumulative, right? That's
Yeah,
the only
it's
way it makes sense. You have to add to get. It's going to take the volume on everything, right?
Yeah, it's probably the total volume on every single crypto asset, and then they just add it together. I would have to guess.
I don't know how it works, to be honest.
We obviously want to see this go higher. Wait, so this is for the month of December? Damn, we just started the month. Wow. So this is going to be way higher probably by the end of the month. That's pretty crazy.
Wish I could figure out the inputs that are going into this, but I cannot.
Yeah. I think it could be calculated from all these other coins by market cap. So maybe it was like, because I don't know, we saw, XRP move and Doge move and Pepe move.
Yeah, lots of billions.
And all others. So maybe like they all added lots of market cap since the beginning of December. And maybe it's like combined. Maybe.
We are definitely seeing a similar pattern from what we saw last cycle is within the volume, right? Like we came up, down, and then we really got that blow off volume. Same thing. We got that blow up. Came up, came back down, and now we're starting to see this portion of the volume. And we got a couple months worth.
If you actually look at the 2021 cycle, on the months of the breakout, it was also the largest volume in that day. No, on the months of breakout from prior all-time highs. Yeah, that one.
So that was like what here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we went
And
higher.
then, yeah, well, of course.
But you're saying, oh, so this is this. You're saying,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is going to look pretty small once we get the big ones coming. What we don't want to see is we want to see this be dwarfed by January and February. Because if this is it, and then the next couple months are a lot lower over time, that's not a good sign. So
what's interesting is that since that big volume spike in 2021, when we were breaking all-time highs, it added since that close. Not like since the bottom, since that close, it still added 300% on the upside. And if we were to repeat it, that's literally 13 to 14 trillion.
Yeah.
That would be nuts.
I think that's the sweet spot.
Louis, what do you have against using log mode? Because I take that personally. I find linear fibs to be disrespectful, personally.
Disrespectful?
But like, what? Why not?
I don't know. I seem to chart better.
I hate your answer already, bro. I'm just.
He said, "I don't know. Let's end it."
I chart better on linear, but like something like
that's an inability to adapt to a new paradigm, Louis. Study the log mode.
Well, I do like now that we're getting a breakout. Okay, now we can turn on the logs, right, and see.
Now you're right. Like I said, I take it personally. Now you turn log on, and now I feel better.
So here's log on total, and we're eyeing up 9 to 12, and that's nowhere. These log fibs don't really give us that. It's either 7 or 27. Like that's a little too big of a gap for me. If you want to take things level to level.
That said, guys, how is the USDT dominance volume calculated?
I don't know, but send it to 0.
I think you could probably find that on TradingView.
You know what you can find, though? So you can easily find our premium section on our website by clicking the link below. So, Tommy, tell them all about what we have to offer. Tell them about the terminal. Tell them about the Discord. Tell them about Academy, and tell them about BB Wealth Management.
I will. I'll have to apologize if I have to sneeze during this, because like right when you were setting it up, I felt a little tickle in my nose.
Let it rip, Tommy. Let it rip. Do your thing.
All right, guys, we have reached the conclusion of today's show, but we do have a few more things to offer you other than the egregious amount of alpha that we provide for you on Market Check on a daily basis. The first of which being your go-to tool for the cycle. Whether or not you are an active trader looking to trade lower time frames, looking to trade derivatives, and everything in between, we have the product for you. Whether or not you are a long-term investor looking for data that helps you make more informed and educated decisions on higher time frame investment decisions, we have a DCA calculator for you. We have other tools as well. Too many tools to even be able to mention, quite frankly. But and soon we will also have our DGen section as well for all of you guys who love meme coins, who love being on chain. Soon we will have our DGen feature built out on the terminal, so you will also have your go-to tool for this cycle. So continue to keep an eye on BB Terminal, guys. We will keep building and making it the best possible product that you can buy on the market. But prices will definitely be going up as the crypto market rises, and that is something that we have discussed before. But fortunately for you, we were nice enough to package the BB Terminal with our Discord, guys, our premium offering that we give our community 4 or 5 hours of daily calls. It's a lot more than that, though. I mean, you get our active positioning, you get our thoughts on the market as things occur, and of course you get a kick-ass community as well that loves, I mean, our community loves the game, and you need to have a structured community around you to, or maybe you don't, but I think you do. At least it would have helped me a lot in my first cycle, even in my second cycle now, to just have a collective brain trust of people who really understand this market and put you in a position to succeed all the time. I mean, we really, as a collective community, I don't really think that we've missed any opportunity in crypto over the last year or so. Maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty proud of what we've been able to accomplish. And like I said, you can get these two things at a discounted rate packaged together. So take advantage of them at these prices before they continue to go up. Some of you are here like 6 months ago, and I want to say that these things were about 50% cheaper. So you've already seen that start to occur. Might occur more in the future. So just something to keep in mind.
Real quick, I'm going to interject here, Tommy. I'm going to leave this up for one more week because our website was down over the weekend for like a little over a day. If you want to jump on our Cyber Monday kind of holiday special, you click this button up here and you can save. If you pay for a full year up front, you can save 25%. It's going to go away soon. So definitely consider jumping on it while you can. But anyways, just wanted to mention you got probably this week to do it, and then we're going to axe it.
Last chance. And I promise you'll look back and you'll be like, damn, that really was one of the biggest bargains of the cycle. So shout out to all of our community members who have already taken the plunge with us. But we also have the BB Academy for you guys as well. Whether you are trying to hone your educational base or reach trading level mastery, there is never a bad time to be doing so. But I promise when the market's going up only, you're going to really wish that you already had that education. So make sure to check out the BB Academy, guys. You get to learn from the entire team of traders at Because Bitcoin, and ultimately how we trade and analyze markets, and of course, how we approach our own trading. So check that out in the description below. Maybe all of those products are applicable to you. Maybe none of them are. Maybe you are just interested in having the team manage money for you this cycle because, I mean, let's be honest, crypto is pretty daunting sometimes, right? Can I pick the right assets? How do I protect my downside when things don't go my way? Well, fortunately, we have a solution for you. We have an SEC registered hedge fund, BB Wealth Management. We've been crushing it here over these last few months. So becoming an LP or an accredited investor interests you. We do have an offering for you as well, linked in the description below, guys. A reminder, we focus on digital assets in a way that looks to capture their asymmetric history for upside returns while balancing any downside risk posed in financial markets. But that's it from us, guys. We hope that you enjoyed Market Check. Welcome back. It is Monday, but fear not, guys. We will be live Monday through Friday for the rest of the weekend and really for the foreseeable future whenever the New York Stock Exchange is open. So just come check us out. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is our typical start time in the mornings. Of course, we also have Market Talk hosted by King Wabi. Make sure to stay following his X account as well as the Because Bitcoin X account so you can be notified not just when we start those spaces, but also when we go live. But that's it from us, guys. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Like I said, welcome back. We will be back tomorrow to continue cooking up a great meal this week. Let's hope we can get some of these breakouts to stick on altcoins, on beta, on everything in between. Let's have a great December. But yeah, until then, thank you as always, and stay safe.